I swear to God, I'll make you sorry your daddy ever squirted your ass out.
A champion from the West. A legend of the East. A competition that went too far.
There has been too much violence, too much pain.
Now, to survive, you must destroy. For honor.
Let us gingerly touch our tips.
For love.
It will be nice. I think you will love it.
For justice.
The law's on my side.
The power of a warrior.
JD.
The heart of a champion.
Thunder.
He likes the way I talk, and I like the way he talks.
This is Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes.
Stack of Dimes. For the podcast, I'll have a bottle of anything, a glazed donut to go.
A little Diller band.
Yeah.
Some
That's
Diller
for you.
band there.
That's for
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I was reminded of that video recently, and I was like, God, that line.
Yeah.
Bottle of anything.
and he like looks around
to go. Yeah. I was like, oh man. There's certain videos that are like, they played so much.
All the time.
Like I could storyboard some of them, probably to a 90% accuracy.
That one was like Going Crazy or something. I think that's what the song was.
That's the one where they get, I think that was that. Whatever one, hey Dave, wow, like the guitar talks at the beginning. What's that one?
I think that's No, it's Yankee Rose.
Yankee
I'm talking
Rose.
about the Yankee Rose.
Yeah.
The look of that one, and then the other one was the California Girls one.
Yeah,
where it was like they're going on.
Oh yeah, and it's like
tour
a bubble fish island.
Yeah.
Everybody's like sweaty and like falling over and stuff. Yeah,
those two videos were and. They played them all the time.
I think they were directed by Kurosawa or maybe Orson Welles.
Probably,
they're that good.
Yeah, they're that good.
They're like they are maybe because they. I mean, some of this. I think I'm stealing Adam Carolla thing where he's like they play a song so much that everybody's like that song's great. It's like no, they just played it so goddamn much.
Yeah.
But those videos are kind of the same. Like that video is iconic. Yeah, because they played it every 15 minutes, and that it's just burned into your brain cells. Right?
Yeah,
but they were also funny and good.
And I would say, they had a look to them that stood out. I mean, I think it was like the Picasso brothers that directed.
Is that really?
Yeah, and it was like some producer.
Those guys didn't go on to. That's funny that those guys didn't go on to like do a. That you would think like. Those videos were popular enough.
I think that was made up. It was like some producer, director, and then I think Dave Lee Roth.
Oh,
they
was
called
like
themselves the Picasso brothers.
But I'm surprised like you didn't hear about the direct. Like so many like that age. I guess maybe that was more the 90s when every music videos were this like basically indie film art scene. It was like Spike Jones and Chris Cunningham and David Fincher and all these guys were like that. With videos were just like where you got your start.
Absolutely,
to go to movies.
the dude with Highlander. What's his name? Your guy with
Russell Mulcahy
started with Duran Duran.
Yeah. He made a short little film. But
what the fuck were we watching the other day? Someone brought up some sort of I forget what old song it was. And we're watching the video, and I was like, "This has got to be directed by Michael Bay." You knew it like that, and someone laughed like, "Ha ha!" And then at the end of it, I was like, it said like directed by Michael Bay, and they're like, "Oh no shit!"
Was it an older song?
Yeah,
like a 90s one?
It was like mid to late 80s.
Oh wow!
It was before he was doing because
it was like a Tawny Katane kind. I could see him doing like
damn, it wasn't like a butt rock video, but
really, I could totally see him doing
butt rock adjacent. It was one of those like
was it like a Billy Idol?
It could have been a Billy Idol.
You know what song? Yeah. You know what popped into my
Rock the Cradle of Love.
Y'all get an erection right now.
I knew it the second you brought up him and a video that that was one that played all the time. I got
dude, it played so much, and that was everything a 12-year-old boy needed.
God,
whatever year that came out, we were probably 12 or 13.
Something like that.
It
was like the last gasps of Billy Idol, right? Like that was like
you know what came up? I was reading. There was this is my move. I don't even remember what movie I watched, but like my move is watch some movie, get to the end credits, go on IMDb, read all the trivia about it. And most of the trivia on IMDb, by the way, this is a pet peeve of mine. It's really fucking annoying. They're like. Chris Evans, is that his name? Chris Evans played Captain America in these movies, and this other guy played Captain Ahab And it's like,
oh,
wait,
boy.
that's not trivia. That's just dumb. That's like a dumb coincidence of like names.
It's like a pop-up video bullshit.
Yeah,
or
it is
something.
pop-up video nonsense. But some of it's actual like trivia. And there was something, God, what movie were we watching?
I hate it when I go there and it's like this cup was empty, and then this next cut, it's in the next.
Yeah, that's
it's like, okay,
stupid.
great
That's
continuity.
Like
Who gives a
I
shit?
could probably tell you because it's in my search history. But one of the trivia things was, I guess it's not in here. Maybe it was under Point Break or something. It might have been in Point Break because I was reading. Like Point Break is there was some article about. I think it's having like an anniversary or something along those lines.
And I know it's been released on a couple of formats.
I think the girl there was. I could be getting this wrong. I'll have to go through the trivia. Don't sharpshoot me, but it's in my recent search. Was like the girl from the Cradle and Love movie video as a small cameo. Oh, it was in the party scene in Point Break when he goes into the party and one of the guys is like dancing with the girl, and probably when she like bends her head backwards or whatever, it's like that's the same girl from the Cradle of Love video.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, Cradle of Love video.
Yeah,
and my brain just like reverted back to like
you instantly
12
got
again.
erect.
Yeah, I was like, must find.
It's like steel
must find
drums.
tissues. It was like steel drum. It was like listening to like yes, late night Girls Gone Wild video infomercials. Yeah,
yeah. That video wasn't there a guy like. I can't tell you. All I know is she like dances on the bed and like does
that's
the
a David.
splits.
That's got to be a David Fincher video.
She
'cause it
takes
was
off her
very,
glasses and like ruffles her hair and
what was the plot?
The
of that
nerd's
video?
watching through. Like he's a creep. He's watching through.
But
like,
he's there. But why is she there?
I
don't totally know. Like, but that was like an age that like The Crush. And wasn't there another movie that was like The Crush? We're just totally like, yeah, it could happen. Like
yeah.
There's
turns
nothing
out,
salacious or anything about like
no
the dude.
I get it.
Nailing the girl next door who's 15 years old.
Yeah,
You're like,
she's super hot.
Oh man,
I get it.
Oh, she's crazy. He's got to kill her now.
Yeah,
he's got to murder
well,
her.
I mean, she's super hot, but she ends up being crazy, so that makes her bad, right?
Yeah,
he's
her
not
bad.
the creep.
Yeah, that's like she's got to die. Does she die in that movie? I'm assuming she dies in that movie.
It's like that movie, the Marky Mark movie, where he's like, "Let me in" at the door, like whatever that one's like. Whatever that genre kind of reminds me of. In that kind of period.
Totally. There was another movie.
There was another
like,
one.
It was like Poison Ivy. Was that one
really?
Poison Ivy with like, wasn't it like Alyssa Milano? They had a whole series of them.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of them had Nicole Egbert.
Egbert.
Egberton. I don't know. From Charles in Charge. But there was like a whole Poison Ivy like series. Those were like, you're in a video, you're in an encore video or something like, ooh,
yeah.
Look at the cover of that. You got a Nicole Egbert.
And also, I love that it's like you like part one's like Alyssa Milano, and you're like, oh, Alyssa didn't return. Oh, Nicole Egbert though. Okay, you know what I mean? Insert.
Part three was just like they were going really deep, like
hot TV chick here for the other one that didn't want to come back.
But lesser like syndicated TV show, not like mainstream like prime time TV show.
Totally.
Who's a hot girl on TV? We got Nicole.
That Charles in Charge show. That
syndicated.
One. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good enough. Throw her in there.
Yeah. I don't know where we started with this, but
just videos.
No, we're just talking about videos. But that's what we're talking about Diller. No, I was reminded. Over the weekend, we went to Bainbridge Island. Bainbridge.
Yes, you sent me some pictures.
Because it was hot as balls here in Seattle. And we have kids, and we don't have air conditioning. You got the air conditioning.
Well, yeah, we got one of those ductless ones.
Yeah, you got ductless. No ducts. No ducts at all. So we went over to this place on Bainbridge Island that had like a pool and air conditioning because it's like it's gonna be hot this weekend. Need somewhere to throw the kids that you can just like. And dude, like pools are just like giant bathtub babysitters. You just throw your kids in them. They
have
just
fun,
they
guys.
just love it.
Don't
they
drown.
love it. They
have
just
fun.
go. And I get drug in there. They're like, throw us around. I'm like, okay, my arm's all bruised up and scratched from that, by the way. No, we went over there, and then like on Bainbridge Island, Bainbridge Island, for those who don't know, the birthplace of pickleball.
Yes, it is.
Delightful little island. No,
it is a delightful island.
Yeah, it's like you kind of like it's so close to Seattle. It's like, God, we don't go here enough. It's like it's really nice to be over there.
I had the exact same thing kind of come up like probably 10 years ago, and we probably go once or twice a year now.
Oh, really?
It's a delight.
I probably hadn't been in 10.
Delight.
Like probably 8 years. The last time we went over there, long story, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, so we go into downtown Bainbridge, just a delight. Ice cream,
very
you got toy stores, you got the whole thing.
Wonderful.
But there's like a record store, like kind of like pretty small in one of the things, and it was it's got me talking about physical media and stuff, which is something I think I don't know if we've ever talked about on here.
No, I'm not
talked about physical media on here.
No, I purely just stream things.
Oh, that's
all
interesting.
I do.
No, so I go I was like, oh, record store, and like it wasn't open yet, so I was like, I'm hitting that thing, and I like drug my kid in there, and she was actually okay for a while. She was like flipping through trying to find like Taylor Swift albums, but the store was like actually really good, like so much. It reminded me of like when we'd find like a place that sold like, oh my God, they have such a good Laserdisc collection. Or you go into a video store and everything's in, and you're like, I can't choose.
It's too much.
I can't. I can't choose anything.
No.
Like I literally every disc I flip through here, I want to buy, and so I have to like the prioritization was like really tough.
You almost got to stack it in your mind.
Like I like the Smiths. They had a bunch of Smith albums, like the original, like 1984, like an original one from the 80s pressing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd get that one. Oh yeah, I'd get that. I was like, fuck, I don't have any of these. I would literally buy them all, and they're all expensive, right? They're like, dude had a crazy collection. And then talking to the guy there, I was like, man, you guys have a really good. I ended up buying like 3 or 4 things. I bought this like crazy Miami Vice single with the Glenn Fry song on one side and the Jan hammer, hammer, whatever that song on the other side. I think I had that on a 45 when I was younger. I don't remember what the Glenn Fry song is, but it's like,
isn't it?
It's go for. I don't know.
It's not.
No, I don't think it's that. That was something about cocaine or something like that.
But that's Glenn Fry, right?
I don't know. Is it? We're gonna get sued if you sing any more seconds. They're gonna sue us. No.
Yeah, you're right. I already got sued from my horn rendition.
That was more than 7 seconds.
Yeah.
How many seconds can you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
Glenn Fry, Miami Vice. Let's just look that up.
Yeah, look that up.
He was on the show too. Like all these guys end up being
Oh
on the
yeah,
show,
yeah. All
right?
the
He was on
music,
an
like Phil
episode.
Collins, all those guys are on the show. So I buy it. It's like painted. It's I'm afraid to actually play it because I'm afraid the paint's going to come off.
It's going to wear off or something.
Yeah, but I haven't even put it on yet. It looks amazing. But the guy was saying that he's like, oh yeah, my boss. He's like goes to all these estate sales. He goes on eBay and just buys big like lots of records, that just like mystery, like people are ditching. He's like, I'm working in the store today. He's like, 90% of my job is just like I sit in his garage and just sort these things.
Wow.
And he's got like some online. I should plug it. It's like Big Dog Records or something like that. I don't remember what. I'll look it up. But it got me thinking about like the physical media and like how that stuff's coming back. And I was shit. Yeah, Big Dog Records on Bainbridge Island. That's what you should look up. The other thing that's coming back now, though, is like cassettes are back.
I know.
LPs, cassettes are back. That's old school. And then I ordered a record recently from the band I like, and they're selling the CD in with the like one of the collector's sets is you get an album, you get the album in multiple colors, you get the cassette tape, which I don't know what I'm going to do with, but I'm still excited about.
Well, I know I have tons of coworkers buying cassette tapes too, and they're like, it's just going to sit here because it looks cool.
It looks cool. It's like, I'm going to get a tattoo of it. Yeah. And then one of it says the CD in long box case. And then in parentheses, it says, if you don't know what this is, just Google it. Which I just love. It's like, I don't have time to explain this to you fucking guys. Just Google it. It's cool. It's old. You'll like it because it's from the 90s.
So there's a ton of this stuff that you're talking about, especially like bands where they put these packages together or something. So I wonder how much it is to get this stuff manufactured now, because it seems like lately there's a lot more of this. So it must be like
for a while. Like I know, like we are the wrong people to talk about this because I'm sure there's all these like Discog people or whatever. Like, oh, they don't know that, but they're like for a while, like record production was actually really. They're like really backlogged. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Also,
I've
making
heard that
vinyl
too.
records is like really bad for the environment.
I've heard
apparently.
that too. Yeah.
So,
but I'm saying like
just ignore that part because it's cool.
Like getting real pressed CDs, getting jewel cases for them, and then packaging them in a cardboard long box. Finding a company that still creates long boxes, which went away. Well, like before
they went away like 2 years into CDs.
Absolutely,
or
like
something.
it was done.
I remember like when like you started going in and it was
whoa, what happened? Where did the
long box go?
Or you'd flip through and it'd be a bunch of no long boxes and there'd be like 2 or 3 long boxes in there. You're going through them, you're like, it just like, and then it would instantly like, oh, that's old. It's got a long box. That one's an old disc.
I had kept a bunch of my long boxes for a
Same with me.
while, but
I still
like,
have-
I'm sure I'm between my parents moving and me moving. I know there's like, why am I keeping this and tossed it? It's like, oh fuck, man. I had the one for Helmet for a really long time.
I had it for Helmet, Strap It On, their first album, and I slid
They had a long box
Yeah,
for that?
I slid it down the side and filleted it open like a poster and used like sticky tack and put it up on my wall. I still
my
have
God.
that somewhere. Yeah.
I had, I remember I had
Meantime.
Meantime, because that one had the album came in 2 different colors.
It did, yeah.
And the long box was the opposite. It was like the album
Yes.
came in like either blue on red or red on blue.
Yep.
And the long box was inversed. So
if you
wanted
no
like the red version of the CD jewel case, you had to get like the blue long box.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember I don't even remember how I figured that out. It was probably like Jeff Spencer's older brother because he went to college and he was smart
he
as
was
shit.
dialed in, and that it trickled
he knew
down
it
to me.
all.
Yeah, it trickled down from that to me from you.
Yeah.
By the way, that's like I'm like, what's this thing you're listening to now?
You're like, no, that's recorded in DDD. That's the clearest digital
Christ, that's
recording
right.
you can do. Well, that one's AAD. You don't want that.
Yeah, that's an analog source. I don't know. I do
I don't
remember
even know what that was, but it was some sort of clarity.
It was some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned it about that album because I had the red because it was their logo was blue and then the background was red.
But you could get the inverse.
Or you could get the inverse where the logo was red and the background was blue. But it also was the first time for me that the jewel case had a see-through.
Oh, a clear jewel case. That was
clear
the
jewel
shit.
case. Yeah.
And
that
you
was
could see the spine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was like frosted. It
Those
wasn't
ones
like
always cracked so quick.
Yeah, there was
compared
always
to the other
yeah.
ones. That plastic was so brittle.
Or if they
it
made
would crack and then the plastic would fall inside the spine.
It fucking drove me
Like-
nuts and just rattle. Drives me crazy.
all the way.
Or if they did a different color plastic for the jewel case.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think like Alice in Chains had one that was like fluorescent yellow.
Oh, right.
That shit was like, it would shatter. Like it would almost be
The most
sitting one day and you'd be like, why is this cracked? I haven't even moved it. It's just like brittle.
That's too funny. That helmet thing's a mind fuck though. You're like, wait, I want the
total
red
mindfuck.
one.
Yeah.
So I gotta get but if I get the blue one,
Now it's
that's
all-
gonna be red. No, god damn it.
Like that was a variant before there was variants, right? Like
Yeah.
like comic books have been doing that for forever now. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to get all 5 variants. But it's like, motherfuck, it's the same damn book in the
That's what I
inside,
ordered
you know?
this. I'm an
you
idiot
go.
because it's this band I like. That I with Starflyer 59.
Oh,
such
yeah.
like an
I was gonna
indie
guess
band.
that's who it was, by the
and,
way.
I'm getting whatever I got the deluxe package. So I'm getting the vinyl record in like 4 colors.
Yeah.
Like what
What am I doing?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
But I
I'll
get
probably
it,
give
man.
one. I'll probably give one to like my buddy Gary and stuff like that. And
I
maybe
get it,
some other
though. I mean,
people.
it's like-
yeah. I'll keep the color I like the most to myself.
I've told myself if like seriously, if my Blu-ray and 4K addiction is the only addiction I have,
Not
like,
bad.
not too bad.
What's with
Like-
Sony? Blu-ray. Sony's saying like they're
Are they
not
done with it?
They're not going to. I think they're not doing Blu-ray rewritable discs or recordable.
Oh, that's
Blu-ray
I
discs
heard
or
that
something.
article
They
too.
stopped
Yeah,
doing
people
that.
blew it up, and it was like they're not. It was a Japanese specific article, but then I saw clarification too. It's like no, they're not making BDRs or whatever.
Yeah. But is that like the first step towards them? Like,
I mean,
not
maybe
making,
there's I know that Disney in Australia got rid of their physical media there.
Wow.
There's a bunch of stuff, but the thing is there's all these boutique labels that are doing it way, way better than the actual
That's
major
so funny.
studios.
I was
way better.
Because I'm broken and I read these things. It was oh my god, I'm gonna forget his name. He's
Writer,
writer
director.
and director. He wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, and he's god damn it.
Oh fuck!
What am I doing with my life?
Fuck!
I literally just read like I was like, oh, here's an AMA from 8 years ago that he did. I'll
read
sit
this.
and read this entire thing, and then I will promptly forget his name because that's how stupid I am.
Yeah, and I don't know who wrote Taxi Driver off the top of my head.
No, when I say the name, you'll be like, oh yeah, that
Eliason or something or
guy. No,
Elias.
it's God damn it. This is so painful. Paul Schrader. Fuck me.
Sorry, wouldn't know. Yeah,
You
still
wouldn't know.
don't know.
Yeah, he's directed a bunch of shit. Anyways, I was reading. He did. I think he wrote like American Gigolo and stuff too. I could be wrong. I don't know. I just read this thing, but people in the AMA were asking like, "Hey, when's this ever going to come out on Blu-ray?" And his answer was like, he's like, how they decide or who decides what comes out on disc or not is a complete and utter mystery to me.
It
Here's a
absolutely-
guy
it's
who
just
like.
totally.
here's a guy who wrote like Taxi Driver and Raging Bull and has directed a whole litany of like classic films, and he's just like, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the
they're asking about one of his movies that he directed. He's
who
like,
owns it?
I have no idea.
Who has the rights to it?
Yeah.
And even if they are the rights holder, would they even come knocking at his door? And the guy made the goddamn movie.
Yeah,
like
he has
that's
no mystery.
It's just
wild.
wild.
It's just amazing.
It's just wild, man.
But yeah, so like how some of those, I think it was that, or it might have been that, or some other article where somebody was saying like the vinegar syndrome and those guys of the world. Like somebody was like, one of these directors, like, I don't know how they're doing what they're doing. Like they were just like mystified by it, right? Like how they're navigating all the legal waters.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
they negotiate whatever it is. And you know what's funny that I'm seeing a lot of now too is where they will release like a 4K of something like, I don't know, Perfect Weapon or some nonsense, right? And then
never seen it. Is it any good?
It's okay. I mean, I'd give it a shot if I were you.
Great.
You might find it interesting. But they'll put this out like Vinegar Syndrome or one of these Kino Lorber or whatever, and then like a year or two later, then Universal or Paramount or wherever will put it out, and it's like, so you couldn't be bothered, but then these guys cleaned it up, and then are you using the same transfer? I don't know
are they looking at? Is that like they're like, well, if the sales are good enough on that, then we'll do it. That's an indicator that we're going to do it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's wild. Or they'll do it, and then one of these guys will do it, and everyone was like, don't get Warner Brothers Mad Max, get Kino Lorbers. The way they transferred it, it's all fucked up. You got to go with this one. And it's like they licensed it from Warner Brothers or whoever the rights owners are. It's like,
but do they end up getting their own 35 millimeter print and doing their own transfer and stuff?
I just motherfucker, I just got a whole box set with Bruce Lee, all of the Bruce-ploitation, like 20 movies, and the amount of care that this company put in, Severin, and it's just like, and the guy who had to go out and try to find vaults and these private owners that have 35 millimeter prints of Enter the Game of Death. Well, like they found an Italian collector that had an Italian. They have to go and then find a VHS version to lift a mono dub track. But it's it's nuts.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
But you just start with like Tarantino or somebody like that in Hollywood, like what? Like just let's transfer he's got to have some crazy collection of like 16 and 35 millimeter films, right?
Yeah.
Like
I love that guy too. Is like, yeah, you know what? I think VHS is the best format to watch this stuff.
That's what he says.
Yeah, it's like part of his podcast he was doing with a little bit. His
really?
nostalgia is so deep for VHS. I was told this secondhand that he like enjoys the way certain movies looked on VHS as opposed to he's like, fuck these 4K cleanups of all this shit.
He's got kind of a point, like
bullshit.
Not
bullshit.
Not cleanup. I think we've talked about this once. Have we talked about physical media before on this show?
I don't think so, but I'm glad we're finally getting to it.
Yeah, we're finally, goddamn, after so many episodes, we finally got to it. There is something that especially I would say like if you take like a Friday the 13th or some like bad horror film from that, there is something creepier about like, and maybe not the viewing experience, but just like the whole experience of like, here's a tape and this thing looks gnarly and it smells bad and you put it in and it like, I get like where the movie The Ring was about a videotape. You could never do that movie about like, there's a computer file on my computer that's haunted. Yeah. It doesn't work. But there's something about a physical tape that they come off like, I don't know, there's some creepiness vibe to them or something, right?
What I'm saying
see
is
an old worn copy of like, I'm trying to like, what was the creepiest? Like Carrie was always like a really creepy thing in like the video stores. You see this
Exorcist.
thing and the corners are all worn.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's got that like weird black and green striped background. And then they put like, that Warner Brothers or something used. And that wasn't a Warner Brothers movie, by the way. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
There's some crusto factor to the tape where it makes the viewing experience even creepier. I remember my neighbor had rented, Tori rented the original Evil Dead before I knew what any of that shit was.
Yeah.
And it was like, here was this videotape. I don't think she even rented it, like had it and it was like dubbed or something. It was like, that tape is cursed.
Yeah.
Like there are spirits,
felt that way.
there are spirits inside that
Texas
tape.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Like I thought the look of it. I get what he's saying.
But like the original Evil Dead on VHS is probably a pretty good example of like a movie that should be seen in kind of a Crusto version or something.
I do get what he's saying about that. Like these are the versions I grew up with, and I see these images in my mind, and the way I experience
Dead, and too cleaned up. It's almost like it becomes a little more comical, but the original kind of gritty, like the version you'd see on like Channel 13 or something. You're like, oh shit, this thing's real.
I've also watched something that's like a straight to video piece of shit movie, like I don't know, like a Don the Dragon Wilson movie, and then it comes out on 4K. We're like, holy fuck, this looked this good ever? Like this,
funny, yeah.
Like because a lot of that shit that went straight to video never looked like it was shot on film because of whatever transfer bullshit, and you'd be going, was this like this can't be shot on film? Like there's something weird about this, and then you finally get to see an actual print, and it was on 35 millimeter, and it was wide, and it was all this stuff. And you watch it, you go like, wow, this was competently made. I never understood that.
And
that's for me is what's fun.
I do feel #blessed in that my kids actually, like this summer, since school's been out for like 3 weeks, like almost every night they're like, can we watch a movie? Can we watch a movie? Like now they've been just like, it's been too hot, so they've been playing outside. But we have like our thing in our family is like, okay, it's mom's turn to pick, it's dad's turn to pick. It's everybody gets their turn. Like, who picked last time? Okay, you can pick this time. And I end up picking. I think I mentioned this before on the show. Maybe
you have.
Yeah, they mentioned they were into Jim Carrey. They just
I didn't know that. But
they just wanted to watch like every Jim Carrey movie.
I get it.
I think we end up,
especially at that age. I get it.
Yeah, I don't. It started with like he's in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and they're like, he's funny. I was like, oh, you like that guy?
There's like 3 or 4 of those now, right? Like people like him. Is there 2 or 3?
2, and the third one coming out.
And the dude's he's like, this is it. This is the last of my movies. I'm going to be this bad guy, and I'm done doing movies.
I think he's done with the Sonic movies. I don't think he's going to be in the next
I think he's done with movies.
Yeah.
That's what is hilarious to me, that franchise, unbeknownst to me, is like really popular, does really well, and that he's like, I'm okay with that being my last movie. Done.
They're fine. I mean, they're like, as those movies go, they're watchable. They liked him in that, and it's like, oh, if you think he's good in this, like, I'll fucking show you something, right? So we've almost watched everything, even stuff that's like way inappropriate.
Most of his stuff is pretty okay, right?
Like The Mask is fine. Yeah. There's like a lot of like gun violence in The Mask, but it's like
cartoonish, right? Like
Ace Ventura is wildly does not hold up now because it's all this like he ends up like when he realizes he kissed a man, then there's like a 5-minute sequence of him showering and trying to like bleach his face.
And he's trying to use like a plunger to try to suck.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, it's just like it's pretty cringe. Now it's like, oh no, like why? My kids are like, why is he doing that? I'm like, because people in the '90s were kind of close-minded, right? It's just like it's pretty bad. Anyways, we end up watching.
I have not seen that movie probably since it came out, and I totally forgot about that scene.
All I remembered was he's a pet detective, and he like somebody steals a dolphin. But I forgot about the whole bad guys like going through gender reassignments. Yeah,
because isn't it supposed to be a play on like the Crying Game a little bit too? Because everyone wanted to make fun of that.
Every movie I think then had to be like some sort of like parody movie, like, or something, like they're trying to do like a like it kind of goes with the In Living Color, like they're sort of mocking it. Anyways, where I'm going with this is that you were talking about like how these movies look, and this is going to get into like way too nerd like updated talk, but like we end up watching what is it, like Lemony Snicket or something like that, some kids movie that I thought was from like 2020, but it turns out it's from like 2002.
Isn't that nuts?
Oh, dude? It's crazy.
It's nuts.
But we were watching, I was like, fuck, this thing looks good. Yeah. Like looks really good. Because I'm so used to watching like my kids pick these like Netflix movies and this newer stuff, and it all kind of has that like soap opera, like they shot it in one of those like Mandalorian screen rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're watching this Lemony Snicket thing. I was like,
it's gorgeous,
man.
Look at
gorgeous. Look how they framed that. The depth of field.
Look what we had back then.
Look at that.
We didn't care.
It was totally that. I was like, this is a movie I couldn't give shit about then. And like I'm watching it now, I'm like, look at the craft put into this motherfucker. Like they didn't just like it was shocking. It's shocking. But like I could see where a Don the Dragon Wilson movie that they probably shot on 16 millimeter at least.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah, if they cleaned it up today, you'd be like, fuck, look at how good that looks. Look at the
God
depth.
damn, this was competently shot.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
and
like,
they actually had some lenses rather than just whatever. One came on the camera. It seems fine.
yeah. No, it's there's a lot of shit out there like that. And it is weird that listening to these guys talk about these Bruceploitation movies is like, a ton of them are like lost at this point. There's a little vignette on one of them where they're going through just because think about these movies. A lot of them were shot in like Taiwan, Hong Kong, and like the Philippines, right? And then it was like churn and burn.
I love that you go and like people just understand what these are. They are movies that they made after Bruce Lee died to try to make it seem like, because back then you couldn't Google what are all the Bruce Lee movies that were ever made. So they would put these movies out. It's like Bruce Lee, L-I, in a movie, and people are like, oh shit, there's another Bruce Lee movie. I got to watch that thing. And like kind of like almost like. I feel like there was like, am I wrong? There was like some duping of the audience.
Oh, absolutely,
bit, like, where it's
totally,
like,
completely. They were sued by They were sued by Linda Lee. They were sued. There was like a bunch of lawsuits. There was a state AG.
It seems so silly now, though, right?
Yeah.
The fact that you're like, how did they not know all the movies he made? Well, it's like some of these movies came out after. Well, some of his legit movies came out in the States like after his death.
Yeah, or didn't get any notoriety. Like it would show in like a Chinatown theater.
Leonard Maltin had not published his book yet of like all the movies ever made.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
No, like there would be a Chinatown theater that would show movies from Hong Kong that were, because the audience was in these like,
And you couldn't like go Google like, is that how you spell Bruce Lee? I thought it was L-E-E. It says L-I. No, it must be L-I.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There were so many consumer complaints in like Pennsylvania that there was an actual lawsuit because there was like 3 or 4 of these. This is what's wild about this too.
That's wild.
Is that there's 3 or 4 of these companies that were putting out porn movies. And then when this is no joke. And then when the Supreme Court decided to allow each state decide whether something's obscene or not.
Right.
A lot of these guys are like, oh fuck, we're in a state where this shit's obscene. I don't want to get like thrown in jail.
Right.
What other sort of exploitation movies? So then it was like kung fu movies, horror movies, like really low budget horror movies. And then through kung fu became this like Bruceploitation stuff. But yeah, so because people would go like, oh, it's Bruce Lee's last movie. And then you go in and watch it and you're like, he's not in this thing. Or he was doing an interview for, at the beginning of it. And then this other guy shows up and now it's like, but my point being with all this shit is there's a bunch of these Hong Kong directors that made these amazing movies that you can basically draw a line from that to like The Matrix or, various other movies where it's like, this guy was the guy that started it all. He's this kind of unknown director in Hong Kong. And they were like, what happened to your, what about this movie, your most famous movie or whatever? And so they're interviewing this like Hong Kong director. And he was like, I don't know, this company I don't know. He's like, once I made it, I hand it off and that's it. I'll see it in the theater and then it's gone. So they finally tracked down a negative because there were all these companies in Hong Kong at the time storing this stuff for these film companies that were like 35 millimeter negative films in Hong Kong in the 70s. To store that somewhere without it deteriorating, you're talking about summers over there. They're oppressive heat. So you had to pay a company to keep it climate controlled, to keep these, at the time, considered shitty movies. They didn't maintain it, do it. So then they're tracking this stuff down, and even when they find it, they'll like put it on and then you gotta find an old machine that you can actually play it on. They start watching. They brought this director, and there was like, this is the only negative of this movie. It's not savable, and he was just like sitting there watching it, just going, like just almost crying.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I made this movie in my 20s. It's a historic film, and especially in the culture of, Chinese culture, this is it's, you can get pretty good copies of it that were, shown in theaters or whatever. They can clean it up as best they can, but the negative's like, it's gone. It's gone forever. Yeah. And there's just so much of that shit going on right now.
That's funny.
It's wild. That's the stuff I nerd out on.
Yeah. It's amazing that there were lawsuits in the United States about.
Yeah, like people
like that's not Bruce Lee.
The guy that put this together grew up in Oakland, in Oaktown. You were just down there. And he's probably like maybe 10 years older than us. So he was going to the actual theaters and seeing it. And he can remember to this day when he was like, wow, I didn't know Bruce Lee had another movie. This is wild. And it's like, so he goes to the theater and he was like 15 minutes in, he realized I got ripped off, but then he was fascinated by it. He was like,
can you imagine
kind of fun though?
If you're a fan back then, this going back to music, pre-internet, do you remember before the internet? There was a thing like we didn't have the internet. Pre-internet, if you wanted to find like, if you got into a band or musician and director or writer or whatever, it was like to find everything. I remember going every time I go to the library, I would just like look up like what is you would look up like I would look up Brian De Palma or something like that and be like, oh shit, he made this thing Home Movies. What is that? Like there was some stuff that you just couldn't find. Every time you went to Scarecrow, you might find like I had no idea this thing existed. Again, I didn't have the Leonard Maltin book. I had
or even if you did, it didn't have everything.
What was that CD-ROM I had that was
my God,
the Encyclopedia of Films? Like, it was like on CD-ROM that like Microsoft put out. Dude, I'd spend fucking hours on that thing, just like hopping around, like reading about movies and stuff. But one of the things similar to that in music, it was like were those bootleg fucking record stores. Where you'd go in, you'd be into like Mother Love Bone, or you're like, oh, dude, there's another. They did another album, and you find, and it's like some weird like 3 like live songs
that someone smuggled in a tape recorder, and then these bastards has the balls to put packaging to it and
and then sell it for like $30.
Oh, it was nuts.
Or it was always way expensive, and you could never to find out what was on one of these
you
fucking
had
CDs.
To know somebody who had it,
or you had to fucking buy it. You had to buy it, and you're like, man, there's 5 tracks on this thing. I've never heard of it, but I've been burnt by this before. Don't do it. And like one day you just have like, I got extra money today. I'm doing it. Fuck it. I'm doing it. I'm buying it. And you're like, you just grind through whatever those 5 tracks are. You're like, oh, this sucks. Well,
this one's pretty good.
This one's okay.
This one's okay.
This one's okay. Yeah. And like, then you just lose it
so
forever.
many times I did that. So many times.
Dude, there were so many like, yes, Nirvana and Mother Love Bone and like any Seattle band. There was so much like bootleg Soundgarden,
and especially if it was a band that like they broke up or their lead singer died or they became this, and then you were just always
because you always in your head you had this thing like, well, I'll just pick on Nirvana. Like, Nevermind blew up. There must be a whole catalog of shit they did before this that's just amazing, and it must, there's always this like mythology of it's like probably like Prince or anything.
Yeah,
like, God, there's all this music that's stored somewhere. And so like, but prior to the internet, you would go into these stores and like maybe today they have the thing that's like some demo tape or something they did that's got a little like flash of genius on it.
I don't know how many hours I wasted in those places, like obsessing over that shit.
So expensive.
Then Napster came along and all of it
gone. Yeah, overnight. And also overnight was the one in Linwood, Washington that burned. And I was like, well, it'll come back. Like they'll open back up.
No, ma'am.
It's like, no, they what? In my head, I was like, oh, it caught fire. Okay,
like
insurance. When's it going to open? Let's go back out there this week. See if again, can't Google things or whatever. No. Let's drive back out to Alderwood Mall and see if the CD store. What was that place even called?
That was called what? Sound.
God, if you could.
The Sound.
Is that what it was?
That place in Alderwood was called The Sound.
And it had a bunch of like
bootleg shit.
It had like weird movie posters.
Yep, had weird movie posters.
Like Reservoir, like special Reservoir Dog
posters. You
could get the
characters, each character in Reservoir Dogs. I know because I had one on my wall.
Yeah, totally. But it was like, let's drive back out there and see if they're open again. Oh shit, not open again.
Hey, bro, okay. I don't think they're opening. I don't think they're opening back up, bro.
In my head, I was like, of course they'll open. They have all those precious CDs they need to sell.
Yeah.
No, they just like...
God,
they're just like getting bootlegs of like somebody just plugged into a soundboard somewhere.
That stupid all Laserdisc store, all about laser that we'd go to. It was just like one day, literally, I'm there on Friday. Next Tuesday, I show up and it is gone, wiped out, empty storefront. Like over the weekend, this guy backed a fucking moving van up and loaded all of his inventory, and it was
like, I got to get out of here. I'm wanted.
But
but those fucking CD stores. Sorry, it's
crazy.
like the Bruce Lee thing where you're like. Can you imagine going to those movies when you're like, man, I'm really into Bruce Lee. Oh, shit, a new one. You're like, here I go again. Am I going to get duped or not?
The funny thing about that, though, at least for them, he was saying like that shit was like $1.50 double matinee, whatever. So that's why it was fun, because to him it became a thing of like,
Oh,
some
that
of them
one
were
was
so
pretty good. or
absurd.
something,
That was
right,
so
yeah.
absurd and so ridiculous. Like what a and that you and that's the kind of the fascination with those more so now is just like how absurd they became.
It's kind of sad, like the mystery. I know this is like such a millennial, or no, I'm not millennial. What are we, Gen X? Gen X thing to say, a boomer thing to say. It's so sad, like the mystery of those things, and just like because right now you can just like go on YouTube and find whatever, like any video you've ever thought of. It's like you can find on there, but the whole mystery of like discovering that stuff of like what else could exist out there, what other weird Mother Love Bone track is there? Like, I don't know. I can just go out and find them all right now.
Yeah, you can find every one of them on YouTube. Yeah, I know. They're all there. Like
there's no sense of discovery anymore. No. It's kind of a bummer. Anyways, that's my downer ending.
That's it.
But I'm gonna get that CD box. I'm gonna keep it this time.
Cool.
And maybe I'll hang it on the wall. I'll do your thing.
I'll
fold it out and then tack it up.
It'll sit in its.
I have little record holders. I'm one of those fucking morons that you go on Zoom with, and he's got like the records on the wall behind him.
Yeah. But you're not going to buy this new one, and it's going to be nice, pristine in this long box. You're going to slit the long box.
I'm going to leave it in the long box.
Yeah, if that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't even have a CD player. I have nothing to play a CD.
I've got too many to count.
I mean, I guess I have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, that'll play them.
Yeah, but I don't have like a. Yeah, I do enjoy listening to the vinyl.
I mean, that's the CD player I have.
To.
It's I have 2 4K players. So
look at you, fucking. Nobody likes a braggart. You
real big swinging dick. One of them cost me, I think, like $80, and the other one was like.
How many HD DVD players do you have?
Gone. They're all gone. I got rid of
even the Xbox ones.
Yeah,
you were hoarding those for a while.
I was. Yeah, I got rid of all those.
You got rid of all the discs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I might have a couple, but
you're gonna regret that.
They started doing some sort of laser rot bullshit too.
Did they really?
Yeah, there's all the Warner Brother ones are pretty much unplayable, and that's a thing that's happening with a bunch of Warner Brothers DVDs.
Oh, funny!
Like they just stop playing. They don't wherever they're manufactured. They're just
those original Warner Brothers DVDs, like
garbage.
The original ones, were so bad.
And they had
so much
weird cardboard snap case.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
It was like they got very artifacty.
Yep.
Like they're all like weird cloud pixels. Yeah, it was not good.
No, ma'am.
I wonder if I might still have Devil's Advocate though. I don't know. I should watch that.
I remember when we lived together, we had having that on that cardboard bullshit.
Yeah.
Devil's Advocate.
Might still have that.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I think that.
All right, brother. Well, good luck with that purchase. When's that showing up? Is they release that yet? Or what?
No, I got it on pre-order.
Pre-order.
I think it's like the next month or something.
Don't sleep on it. That's the other thing with these.
No,
things
I already
like that.
paid for it. I already did it.
Good.
I bought it. It's signed, sealed. It's going to be delivered.
This Bruceploitation one, there was the box set that I got that's just got like a pretty decent pamphlet that talks about all the history of these movies. And then they had another one that was like the super duper set, and it was like a signed poster by Bruce Lee and all this other knick-knacky bull. I'm kind of not in for the knick-knacky bullshit sometimes.
I don't like, but for me, in the album thing is like I just want to support the artist. So
sure,
yeah, I'm going to buy the full meal deal.
This one, I was like, motherfuck, Bruce Lee was my favorite. He was my fucking favorite of all the Bruces. And I was like, there's that. I'm sure that it's like limited edition. Yeah, they say that. No, sold out like that. It's gone. They made 400. It was gone. And I was like, shit. But it's like I've really tempered myself when it comes to the, like, again, with all this knick-knacky nonsense. It's like, what am I going to do with lobby cards? If I can't put it all in a package and put it on a shelf, I fucking don't want it.
No, I'm with you. So I'm with you on that.
All right, everybody.
Your shrine. You put it in your little shrine.
People are that haven't heard this show forever, and they're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, I'm going to check out what they're doing over there at the Stack of Dimes. They used to be talking about, I don't know, making us laugh by shitting their pants and drunken adventures and things like that. No, they're going to talk about formats and how all they do is like old white parents that are buying things.
That's the only joy I have in life is, but I literally have like probably 10 vinyls right now I haven't even played yet. I'm just that was it. Just the act of finding them and buying them was the best I could do.
You're talking about you not having a way to play CDs. I have no way to play vinyls, and I have probably 10 to 15 vinyls that I've purchased through the years because I'm like, this is really cool.
I am into buying soundtracks, like finding. I bought over the weekend. God damn it, we can't stop. I can't.
It's fine.
Don't stop
it's
me.
fine. Go ahead.
Over the weekend, I bought the soundtrack to the Tangerine Dream soundtrack to Michael Mann's The Deep,
Sure.
or whatever that, or the Keep. Sorry, the
That's
Keep.
cool. Where'd you get that?
That was on the island.
The island.
The island.
Is it that fancy label Waxworks or
No,
whatever?
it's like the old.
Oh, it's the legit one.
It's the old one. I have the soundtrack. I have an old like do not sell not for resale thing for
sure.
like Cool Hand Luke like soundtrack. I like finding the soundtracks.
That's
I got
cool.
the original Dune soundtrack on the vinyl.
The Keep letterbox laser disc is actually one of the laser discs that's worth quite a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was never.
Yeah, I may have just lied.
Officially released.
I'm sorry. I said the Keep. I'm brain dead. It's not that. It's Sorcerer, the William Friedkin movie that Tangerine Dream
Shut
did.
the fuck up. Are
That's
you serious?
the soundtrack I got.
That's
yes.
awesome.
They had. I thought they had the Keep, but sorry, I got confused because I was.
They might do songs on the Keep. I think they do.
They did do the Keep, but they also did Sorcerer, the movie starting like, the guy from Jaws, Schneider.
Oh, yeah, Schneider. The guy from Blue Thunder. I apologize, everyone.
Yeah.
I
I really catfish people. That's not
bullshit.
what in my head. That's what it was. But I'm again delirious.
Do you know what I
Okay.
never got a reaction from you was I sent you that they have on vinyl now. They have a ton of this shit, but I sent you the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack. I snapped a
You
pic of it
did?
and sent it to you because in Japan they're releasing a bunch of like video.
That might have been one of those text messages that just
Fucking
like
awesome.
lost to the
Yeah,
sands of
maybe.
time or something. But
It was like an
that's
awesome
amazing.
cover. I was at
I would buy that.
a retro video game place in Bellingham, and they had it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, really?
I clicked it and sent a picture to you. Crickets, goddamn crickets. I was like, "This
Maybe
is
it didn't come. I got
God
now. I'm
damn
gonna
it.
like my
Yeah.
on vinyl. Streets
on
of-
vinyl." Yeah,
I would totally buy that.
They
in a
release a
heartbeat.
ton of the video game.
That one had some
soundtracks.
jams on it.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
They put that. They put that thing out, and what I really want to is that goddamn Terminator Sega CD.
That was
soundtrack.
a great soundtrack. Recorded in fucking Q sound.
God bless.
Yeah.
All right, this is
That's
really it.
really the
All right.
end.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
So wake up and face what they call reality.